In Congress, July 4th, 1767, when in a course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which connect them with another, and to assume among the powers of earth and separate equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitled them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. And we hold these truths to the self-extent that all men be created equally, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, the governments are among men their just powers from the consent of governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right to the people alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying this foundation on such principles, and organizing its powers to such form as to seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dedicate that governments long established should not change for light of transient causes, and according all experiences that mankind are more changed for light and transient causes, and according all experiences. Wait, I already said this part. My bad. Disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, and the right themselves abolishing forms to which they but when a long train of involuntary the same object evinces, designed to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is their right, it is their duty to throw such government and provide new guards for future security, such as the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now their necessity, which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. And history present King of Great Britain is a history repeated injuries and usurpations, all having direct objects to establishment of absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to candidate world. He has refused his assent to laws which most wholesome and necessary for public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till its assent should be obtained, and when suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws which for accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the rights of respiration and legislature, and a right to instimate to them, and formidable to tyrants only. Don't know what that means, but carry on. He has called together legislative bodies and placed uncomfortable in distance from disparity of their public records, for the sole purpose of fugating them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative house repeatedly for those mainly firmness of invitations on the rights of people. invasions of the rights people. My bad. He has refused for a long time after such delusions to call others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, has returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in meantime exposed to all dangers of invasion without the convolutioners with I don't know what that means. He has devoured to prevent the population of these states for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their immigrations, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing jury powers. I don't know. He's made judges dependent on his will alone for his tincture of his offices and the amount of payment from their salaries. He has erected a multiple of new offices and set hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat our substances. He has kept among us in the times of peace standing armies without consent of our legislators. He has kept affected to render the military independence of our superior to civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to foreign to our constitution and unacknowledge by our laws, given his assent to their acts, pretend legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by mock trial from punishment to any murderers which they should commit, inhabitants of our states, for cutting off trades with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in our neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so it render it as one example to fit instrument of introduction the same absolute rules into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with the powers to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated the government here by declaring us out of his protection and wearing war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaging our coast, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death. This sovereign tyranny already began with circumstances of cruelty and perversity, scalability in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizen take captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become executioners of their friends and or to fall themselves by their own hands. He is excited domestic instructions amongst us, and has devoured to bring our inhabitants of frontiers and merciless Indian savages, those known rule of warfare. This is a undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, they have pretended for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated penitents have answered only repeated injury. The prince, those are woes, the characters, thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant. This unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been waiting intentions to our British brethren. We have warned them for time to time of attempts of legislative extended to warrantable over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances and immigration, and settlement here. We have appealed to the native justice, and we have conjured them by the tides of our common kindred of dissolval these unseparations which would inevitably interrupt our connections and they too have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. I don't know if that's how you say it, but we must therefore excuse the necessary which denounces our separation, hold them as we hold mankind enemies in war and peace and friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America and General Congress, assembled, appealing to the supreme justice of the world to we have our intentions due in the name and by authority of good people these colonies solemnly published to declare that these united colonies are and of the right out to be free independent states that are resolved in alliance to the British Crown, and all political connections between them, state of Great Britain, is out to be totally dissolved, and that as free as independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to all other acts and things which independent states may of right do, and for the support of this declaration, which firm resilience on the protection of divine providence and mutuality pledge to other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.